morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to Season 2 of the Spiritual Awareness Journey Programme, a virtual spiritual talk platform where the practical application of all things spiritual in our daily living is shared and discussed by experienced speakers from all walks of life, as well as our special guests who are realized souls called Mahatmas. This programme is brought to you today by Manav Dharam YouTube channel, and I'm your host, Govinanda. And we're delighted to welcome you from all around the world to spend this precious time with us as we address today's topic of spirituality and wellness. In previous Spiritual Awareness Journey episodes, we discussed the many facets of the human existence and why we humans are regarded as the crown of creation. We're the most sophisticated soft technology in existence, and we, through our heart and mind coherence, can harmonize our brain and heart's network consisting of our neurons and cell membrane and hormones through conscious awareness to serve us on demand, making us the most powerful beings we are in essence. We receive and transmit information about our state of being, our environment, and our daily living by our mind, our consciousness, and our heart. And our mind not only records, but also subconsciously stores and recalls our every action. While we within our hearts hold all our feelings we have experienced in our lives, and through these soft technologies, we make use or exchange the precious energy we are consciously or unconsciously receiving as constant from our daily breath. This precious breath with which all the healing power abides is our true life force. It is the life source from where we receive our energy to exist today. The new sciences are now discovering how body, mind, heart, and consciousness interact with many frequencies experienced, producing body chemistry through our hormones that grant us the state we are in today. When they're not aligned or in a negative state, we experience distress, anxiety, and even depression. While in coherence, we experience wellness, joy, exuberance, which in turn brings positive change within our lives. What is most incredible is that saints and sages remind us that we come from the most highest frequency, the ultimate vibration, our origin, which is also referred to as the Word of God in all scriptures and holy books. And through spiritual knowledge, we can go within and connect with our being, our soul, our source, the divine itself, and experience this optimal wellness. The question then is, how do we do this? And our experienced panel, Dr. Varsha from USA, and our special guest speaker, Mahatma Dharam, will elaborate on how to achieve such state of optimal wellness. As we all in the last 2 years have realized that our health is our wealth. In this human existence, we as spiritual beings have the ability to commune with the divine within, our original spiritual source. By achieving the highest state of consciousness, we can feel whole and complete, as we may bask in the state of pure love, joy, light, and bliss. We hope our speakers will inspire you to seek this highest state of awareness by inquiring about the spiritual knowledge to become conscious of our spiritual being residing within, and forging a true connection with your own spirit, our soul, and start your own practical spiritual awareness journey. As we belong to the one race, this human race, we as spiritual beings have the potential through the focusing of our mind on the most high, the most positive vibration to attain our true goal, enlightenment, with the potential to create a spiritual enlightened world where peace, joy, wellness, and bliss will reign true. We're happy to announce that we will open the platform for a short Q&A session with Dr. Varsha at the end of both the presentations of our speakers today. So please pose any of your questions on this topic to Dr. Morar within the chat box above in Zoom. So now we're delighted to start our Spiritual Awareness Journey program with our first speaker today, Dr. Varsha. And Dr. Varsha is a medical doctor who resides in the Washington, D.C. area with her husband and 2 children. Dr. Morar is a child, adolescent, and adult psychiatrist who completed her residency and fellowship training in Washington, D.C. Varsha has learned meditation in her early 20s and has integrated a spiritual and meditative practices into her daily life that promotes well-being ever since. She's studied yoga through the Himalayan tradition and has also trained in children's yoga as well as nutrition and health. Her focus is helping children and adults to realize their full potential through meditation, mindfulness, and spiritual awareness. And she is currently setting up a non-profit meditation center to spread meditation to children. So thank you so much. Over to you, Dr. Morar.
Hello, thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. And welcome to all of you. I'm really happy that all of you could join me and attend this talk on spirituality and wellness. It's a very important topic because it defines a lifestyle. It defines your personalized approach to living that allows you to become the best kind of person that your potential with your circumstances and that your fate will allow you to become. So how is spirituality related to wellness? Wellness actually encompasses about 8 different dimensions. It encompasses physical, social, emotional, environmental, financial, vocational, and intellectual. Spirituality is one of these dimensions, which is what I'm going to focus on today. And specifically as to how it relates to your optimum mental health that is devoid of anxiety, depression, and stress. So spirituality is a human, individual, dynamic characteristic. Everyone expresses it differently through their beliefs, through their practices, and experiences in the search for a connection with that something that promotes meaning to them and promotes personal growth and leads to your development of values and positive inner feelings. Spirituality is a characteristic that's common to all humans, regardless of your race. Even though each one of us may express it differently, in Chinese, ancient traditional medicine, and also Ayurvedic medicine, spiritual component has always been used to define both the cause and the therapeutic treatment of an illness. There's thousands of literature published in medicine showing the benefits of spirituality and optimum health. In my first talk on spirituality and wellness a few months back, I mentioned that during the pandemic, I was very blessed because I was able to travel very, very far on a journey that I embarked on while I was still a student. And that trip didn't require any vaccination card. It didn't require any passport. And even though the pandemic has dampened down in my locality, I'm still be able to travel and blessed to be able to travel there. For all you seers, you must be wondering, well, where did I travel to? Well, this travel is actually open to all of us and open to anyone and is freely available to everyone. But only a very few lucky souls embark on this journey all the way. This is an inward journey, a journey that will lead you to your optimal mental and physical well-being. Many people embark on this journey for various reasons. For me, I've always just been interested in the functioning of the brain and the mind, why people do the things they do. And I followed my passion to become a doctor, specializing in psychiatry, and then did a super specialty in child and adolescent psychiatry. But my questions about the functioning of the mind were still not fully answered or explained because scientifically and medically, these cannot be explained. These functions are experiential. It wasn't until I started studying yoga and meditation and delved deeper beyond that, even into tantric science, was I able to get some of my questions answered. Even after 20 plus years of meditation, it's still a continual exploration. And the experience lies within the journey itself. It's not just to focus on the destination. That will come, hopefully. That comes through regular focus and disciplined practice. So how does depression fit into this? Many people turn to spirituality when they're feeling sad, when they're feeling down. And actually, during the pandemic, this number increased significantly, even though the rates of depression were already very high before. Stress is a risk for developing depression, especially chronic stress. So there's about 8 different types of depression. There's another 8 different or so medical disorders that manifest depression. Depression leads to higher risk of heart disease, death from various illnesses, higher reinfection rates for coronavirus. It leads to decreased cognitive function and also memory. Now, there are many treatment modalities for depression, including talk therapy, antidepressant medications, but these treatments don't always work for everybody. Generally speaking, mild to moderate depression could be overcome through meditation, because meditation does actually alter our reaction to these feelings that stem up within us. Research studies at Harvard shows that meditation trains the brain to achieve sustained focus when negative thinking, emotions, and physical sensations intrude into our being, which is what happens when you feel stressed and anxious. Now, because of the growing interest in meditation and mindfulness over the last 10 to 15 years, there have been lots of randomized controlled trials done. These have shown improvements in depression, anxiety, and pain conditions. For example, meditation actually alters certain brain regions linked to depression. The prefrontal cortex, which is the me center, where you process information about yourself, where you worry about the future, ruminate about the past. This area is in overdrive and hyperactive in depressed people. Also, the amygdala or fear center, which is the part of the brain responsible for fight or flight response, which triggers the adrenal glands to release cortisol, stress hormone, which spikes when you're perceiving fear or danger. These 2 brain regions, they connect and work together to cause depression. Medication actually breaks the connection between these 2 brain regions. So your stress levels can actually fall, and you can better ignore the negative sensations of stress and anxiety. Another way that meditation helps the brain is by protecting the hippocampus, which is involved in memory and learning. So studies showed that people who meditated for about 8 weeks actually increased the volume of their gray matter in their hippocampus. And people who have recurrent depression actually have a smaller hippocampus. There's been imaging studies done, functional magnetic resonance imaging, of people who have meditated after 2 months while meditating, and also while looking at emotional pictures. The task showed that the activity in the amygdala was changed, and it was regained even when they were not meditating. So mindfulness-based cognitive therapy also trains people in what we call interoception, which is having body awareness. And once you have body awareness, it actually makes you more become in the here and the now. And that's shown to be very helpful as well. The fMRI imaging studies also showed that the brains of patients thickened after an 8-week meditation course. So meditation does not push aside, it doesn't block out negative thinking. That's not what we're trying to do. It actually causes us to notice and become more self-aware of our thoughts and our feelings, and allows us to understand that we don't have to act upon them. It allows us to realize that even though these thoughts affect us, these thoughts are not us. It helps prepare the brain for stressful situations, such as when life throws a curveball at you. For example, during the pandemic, I was absolutely prepared because it allowed me to accelerate my inward journey even further. Also, just following like proper diet and exercise, it takes time to feel the results from regular meditation. So what you take in, what you ingest within yourself has a deep impact on your mood, on your overall well-being, and your mental health, and your functioning in day-to-day life. For example, to be able to be healthy, our diet is of utmost importance because we are truly made up of what we consume. So if you ate a piece of bread, for example, if you ate breakfast this morning, whatever you ate, that whatever you consumed actually becomes a part of you. It transforms into you. It's a part of your matter now. So eating healthy, fresh cooked meals, avoiding foods that are tamasic in nature. What I mean by that is foods that are difficult to digest, foods that slow you down, that cause you to have an inertia. It gives you a cognitive slowing because all your energy is involved in digesting that food and how it's prepared, how it's made, the state of the food itself, the energetic vibrational state of the food itself, and the person who's creating the food will all have an effect on your overall well-being, including how you take in the food, how you eat the food, how you ingest the food. All of these processes could lead to disease in the long term if not done correctly and suitable to yourself. So this is very fundamental in mental, physical health as well. And as you practice more, as you meditate more, you automatically find the need not to consume as much substances that may alter your brain functioning or other substances, and it will automatically allow you to renounce bad habits. There are some measurements of depression, such as increased concentrations of cortisol that they can measure in your plasma, which rises in chronic stress. It also increases in your urine and your cerebrospinal fluid. You can have exaggerated cortisol response after stimulation with ACTH. You can have hyperplasia of your pituitary and adrenal glands. Your hippocampal volume is smaller, it's reduced by 10 to 15%. So you can see how depression can affect your overall functioning by this. Chronic stresses early in life can cause permanent endocrine, neural, immune, and inflammatory changes. How does spirituality fit into all of this? Spirituality is actually a protective factor for depression. It gives you a deeper understanding. It gives you a purpose. It gives you a sense of belonging, which helps you protect yourself from spiraling down a depressive path. What steps can be done to increase your spirituality? You could do simple things like spending more time in nature, taking nature walks, keeping a journal, contemplating about yourself, exploring meditation, attending religious services, taking care of our body, taking care of our health is taking care of that divine that lies within you that we all share in common. So therefore, taking utmost care of your body, your health, your diet is very important because that's what allows you to go deeper within yourself as well. It has also potential benefits such as providing a sense of purpose and meaning in your own life. Why are we here? What are we actually doing in this life? What is my purpose? Where am I going with this? It allows you to increase resilience in times of need. It gives us clear values to live by. How do I live my life day to day? It also helps to decrease self-criticism, and this stays on. So you can learn to have positive self-talk to your body, taking care of yourself very well. A simple task of just focusing on your inhalation and your exhalation for about 15 minutes a day can have a lot of benefits. It allows you to be less emotionally reactive overall. So what I'm going to do with you today, I'm going to do a brief example to see how you can change your state of mind in a few minutes. And so we're going to do a breathing exercise. And this is something that you can also practice at home after this. Why don't we start by wherever you are sitting. If you're sitting on a chair, I want you to keep your feet planted on the ground in front of you. I want you to sit in a relaxed manner with your back straight, but relaxed, and just feel your body in space. I want you to feel where you are sitting in space right now. And I want you to gently close your eyes. And I want you to bring your hands together at your chest. This is just a feeling of coming together. And I'm going to say Om 3 times. And I want you to keep your hands at your heart and just breathe and listen to this. Closing your eyes gently, bringing your hands together. Om. 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 Now I want you to gently bring your hands down and lay your hands down on your knees or your thighs, wherever you feel comfortable. Keeping your back straight, bringing your attention and your focus now with your eyes gently shut, eyelids gently shut. Keeping your focus attention to your breath, breathing diaphragmatically, filling your belly with air and feeling the air come through your nostrils. As you inhale, feel your belly expand out. Taking a deep breath, keeping your mind focused on your breath. And when you exhale, exhale slowly and smoothly and feel your belly sink into your back as you exhale. There should be less movement in your chest area. All the movement should be in your belly area, feeling the rise and fall of your belly with each inhalation and exhalation. I want you to do this for about 10 to 15 breaths. Keeping your mouth closed, we breathe in through our nose and exhale through our nostrils. Feeling the cool breath coming in through your nostrils. I want you to focus on your breath by using, you can count 1, 2. You can use a universal mantra, which is Soham, or you could just say Om, like I did, which is also universal sound. Or you don't have to do anything and just breathe. And if there's any thoughts or anything that's coming in your mind, don't try to push it away. Be aware of it and let it be. A lot of times things that come up in our mind are things we need to take care of. So I want you to take a deep breath in. Your breath should be smooth and even. Going as deep as you can. If you can, lengthen your exhalation. Your exhalation should be a little longer than your inhalation. And exhale slowly, smoothly, evenly. And be aware of your body in space. Be aware of where you're sitting. Be aware of your breath as it moves and the rise and fall of your belly as you inhale. Be aware of the point between your inhalation and your exhalation. And once you've done taking your breaths, I want you to gently open your eyes and try to maintain the state as long as you can. Try to maintain the breath with your eyes open if you can. And this is something you can practice whenever you feel stressed and anxious, whenever you wake up. This is a start of something you could do that can bring you back to yourself, take you as a start into your inward journey or deepen your practice. I hope you enjoyed my talk on spirituality and wellness, and I thank you for joining with me today. And if you have any questions, feel free to write it in the chat box. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mara, for a beautiful talk. I'm sure everyone here will take some small gem, if not everything, away with them. I'm sure everyone can implement some of the sort of pieces you've laid out today for us, which we're very grateful for. I loved how the way you were able to explain how spirituality for us it's not for one race. It's done by so many different countries and so many different regions in small different styles, but it is there for all, one and all. And that is the great thing about this. We're all here together trying to do things which are going to help from a worldview. And that's the real key here, that we're trying to develop that. And I love how the connotation that you said around the journey is the key, and not always just the destination. It's how we get there and the steps we take, which are really important. And obviously, as you said, with your meditation practice, it's a slow growing process. You can't just one day say, I'm going to stop doing this completely. To form a habit, it takes a certain amount of time, and that's something we should all take away, whether it is focusing on your breath, like Dr. Mara just showed us then, which is really good. You start with a slow process and you slowly build that up. But it's great to hear that, and I'm sure everyone can implement something within these lines. I know for me, we live in a world where health and food is so important. However, at the same time, you've got these distractions around you, which you can jump straight into. There's so many takeaway restaurants, all these types of things, which sometimes you have to be really careful about. So everyone can take something away here. So thank you so much, Dr. Mara. That's very, very insightful in terms of how we can focus more. And as Dr. Mara did say, please do pass on any questions into the chat box, because we will have a Q&A at the end of this session. So we're moving on now, and now the Spiritual Awareness Journey is honoured to present our special guest speaker of the day, and this is Mahatma Suvidyabaiji. And Mahatma Suvidyabaiji is an enlightened saint from Haridwar, India, who is currently located in Durban, South Africa. And Mahatma Suvidyabaiji is a disciple of the spiritual master Sri Satpalji Maharaj, who is the spiritual head of Manav Dharam organization. She successfully provided spiritual enlightenment for the past 2 decades in various parts of India, Kenya, South Africa, Canada, and even Australia. Her mission is to uplift the soul of man by rendering spiritual discourses on the essence of all scriptures and teaching meditation and yoga to all aspirants. So it's a privilege today to be in the presence of Mahatma Suvidyabaiji, as Baiji will share with us her deep and personal spiritual understanding and experiences of this very timely topic. So without further ado, here now, Mahatma Suvidyabaiji.
Greetings to one and all. It is a great pleasure to share my views on spirituality and wellness on this platform. Thank you, Dr. Varsha Morar. You did a wonderful job at explaining the topic. Let me start with a saying: if the mind is happy, the entire universe seems happy. And if the mind is despondent, the entire universe seems despondent. So if you desire happiness, your primary focus should be to strive towards the happiness of mind. It is as simple as that, but most difficult to achieve in a current phase of life. Let's see what our scriptures say about it. Chitte prasanne bhuvanam prasannam, chitte vishane bhuvanam vishanam, ato abhilasho yadi te sukh syat chit prasade pratmam yatsava. So mind is a vital tool to experience the world through different kind of emotions. And that's why the quality of life is much more dependent on the mental well-being. World Health Organization defines mental health as a state of well-being in which an individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stress of life, can work productively, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. It is further stated that depression is the major prevalent mental disease in the world. Approximately 280 million of people suffering with this disease. In a Yoga Sutra, Patanjali Rishi defines mental health as a optimal utilization of one's physical, intellectual, and emotional faculties to maintain harmony with self without undue preoccupation with the environment. For mental health, Patanjali Rishi took three things into account. First is capability of an individual, second is harmony with the self, and the third is to avoid undue and excessive comparison with others. In other words, when a person forgets his capabilities, when a person has no connection with his own self, has an extrovert mindset, he suffers with mental issues. Mental disease is the greatest challenge to mankind in present time. It is very common to feel low or depressed sometime in our daily course of life. But if these feelings stay for longer time or these feelings don't leave you, then it is depression. Symptomatically, one goes through things like lack of interest in life or has the feeling of emptiness in life, doesn't want to be in anyone's company, cannot focus on any activity, doesn't see any purpose in life, can become offended on someone's good advice. If we gone in more details, there are lots of symptoms, but we would rather focus on a spiritual aspect of it. If one is suffering from these kind of symptoms, then definitely there is a need of some treatment. According to spirituality, there are three causes for depression: an externalized mindset, wrong lifestyle, and lack of true knowledge about the self. Let's understand each of causes in detail. An externalized mind creates too many materialistic ambitions. A person values life through materialistic achievements, and this kind of mentality only focuses on the outcome of action. He sees the outcome as a matter of dignity or ego, and that causes mental disruption and low self-esteem. Another effect is that a person gets stuck in the emotion of attachment, feeling of failure and negativity. And these emotions are root cause of depression. It seizes the ability to see things or situation in a broader perspective or to focus on reality. The second is a wrong lifestyle, which is due to excessive activity or overstimulation, dissociation from the nature, wrong eating habits and unhealthy food, wrong sleeping patterns. And the third is a lack of true knowledge about the self, who we are. The self is comprised of the mind, body, and soul. Among all these three, mind and body are temporary and ever changing in nature. And when we try to identify our or value our life through mind and body, then life swings like a pendulum. The soul is internal entity, never changing and having infinite potential. In fact, this is our true identity. And when we live life through this identity, stability, infinite capabilities, and enormous power will be the impact in our life. Now, how to overcome the causes to cure depression? In fact, there is no common reason or common one treatment for depression. Say, for example, insulin for diabetes or have a surgery for appendix. Depression is very complicated disease. The reason for this disorder is not only chemical imbalance in the brain, but there are biological, social, psychological, and spiritual reasons are involved in it. So far we understood it is mainly associated with our state of mind. And according to spirituality, we know that our subtle body consists of mind, ego, 5 pranas and 5 tanmatras. So our main disruptor, mind and ego, are part of our subtle body. Now if we want to get our mind and ego on the right track, we know meditation is the best solution. Through spirituality, we develop understanding of what we are, what we should meditate on, how to meditate. And once we understand and learn it, practice it daily, gradually we are able to cleanse and balance our subtle body, which ultimately leads to depression-free life. We also need to note that any physical problems faced due to depression are to be taken care of with medication also, because it would give immediate relief from suffering. Let me share experience of Mr. A, who came to me for spiritual knowledge and meditation, and how he conquered the battle of depression. His journey touched me deeply, and if I tell you major part of it, then also I would take hours. So let's just have a glimpse at it. He says that from childhood of anxiety and panic attack to late teens, the pain became so complex that thought of suicide was only way out. He got through hell of a life, was eventually medically diagnosed with a chronic autoimmune disease, and was told that antidepressant, mood stabilizers, and thyroid regulators would be required throughout his life. Being on meds for breakfast and dinner all his life, Mr. A shared that since 2 years of his awakening through the spiritual knowledge from the spiritual master, he no longer have a chronic autoimmune disease, neither he is on any medicine. He says we suffer because we don't know about our true self. And when my search was finally over, and all that's left is peace, contentment, understanding, and gratitude for each and every painful moment that got me where I am today. So, what we learn from his experience? His case was very challenging. Along with his physical sufferings, he continuously had to fight with his own self. He worked hard and got his subtle body, that of mind and ego, cleansed, got rid of negative, repetitive thought patterns. What we have understood till now is that depression has multifaceted effects on an individual. One's physical health gets affected, one's state of mind is disturbed, and also one's ability to do day-to-day normal life activity is diminished. If we want to deal with depression and get ourselves cured of it, we ought to do multifaceted solutions. For physical health issues, two-way job is needed. First, for severe physical pain and suffering, medication as prescribed by doctor are to be used. Second is to help our body to heal and stay healthy. And for that we need to adopt sattvic diet. We all know yatha ahar tatha vichar. As the food, the thought will be. So sattvic diet will calm our body and mind. Developing hobby which connects us to nature, like walking, gardening, yoga, etc., helps our mind to be more focused on positive nature rather than wavering around negative thought pattern. As such hobby helps such hobby helps to keep our physical body fit and healthy. And along with above, we need to see life through spiritual perspective. We are spiritual being in reality. Need to experience the divine spark, the soul within. Through spiritual master, one can have the spiritual knowledge to realize the soul within and can learn the technique to meditate upon the soul. Meditation helps to notice and accept the negative thoughts, then let them go. In this way, it can help to disrupt the cycles of negative thinking. Meditation has no side effects. It helps us to prevent depression relapse. It helps to learn to recognize and distance oneself from unwholesome thoughts and emotions without judging or censoring them. And this distance allows to discover inner resources. Realization of soul gives us immense feeling of blissfulness. It allows us to tap into infinite spiritual realm within which gives us abundance energy. With meditation, each of our body, that of physical body, subtle body, spirit body, and causal body, get cleansed, purified, and become healthy. In short, as with the sunrise, all the flower buds start to blossom into beautiful flowers, same transformation take place when one will see the light and the glow of the soul within. Curing depression is not a one-day job. We need to dedicatedly and continuously follow all the above discussed practice. Then gradually and definitely we will be out of depression and live healthy and happy life. Now in the current time of a pandemic and war, every individual is going to face more hardship in life. Everyone is at a risk of getting into depression. So the wise act is, even though we haven't developed depression, we should make amends in our day-to-day life. We should start living healthy lifestyle, add more sattvic diet, do yoga and meditate daily on the holy name. So no matter how tough or challenging life turns out to be, we all would be able to sail smoothly through it. So thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Matmaturi Baji, for that great talk. I loved the way you were able to use that first analogy, actually. If the mind is happy, the universe is happy. And that's one thing I think should resonate with everyone, that to be in that realm of a happy mind we will see the good in the world that we're in. That was great to hear. I love the way you're able to explain how it's common for everyone to, people feel sad, and that is a natural feeling. But we can overcome these, and we're not to get trapped in these emotions of negativity. So it, like you said, it stops us from seeing the broader perspective, and we need to take a step back, refresh ourselves, and then take that view that we really like to see. I think the other thing which I find is really interesting is the fact that yourself and Dr. Morar spoke on similar concepts around food, around nature, around bringing yourself back into this realm where everything does impact you mentally. So you have to think about these things when going about your day-to-day life. And the last thing I want to sort of end on, which I thought was really good from yourself, Baiji, was the fact that as the sun rises, the flower buds blossom. In the same way, when one receives the light, they will see the soul grow. I think that's really important for everyone to remember and really take into their day-to-day living. I think someone's just got their audio on. Don't mind muting, sorry. So we have a little bit of time left, and with this time, we do have one question for yourself, Dr. Morar, which has come into the chat box. So if you don't mind quickly answering that one. So the viewer has said, just a quick question, felt really relaxed when you asked us to do the meditation along with yourself. And thanks for that, firstly. Is there a specific meditation you practice, and how can I get to that? Please do let us know.
Okay, thank you for the question. That's a really actually very good question, which is the essence of what we would like you to leave here with today. So yes, there is a specific meditation that I practice. And so this goes back many years. We are all part of an association called Manav Dharam. And what happens is that I actually was lucky when I was listening to talks such as this. I was listening to satsangs and listening to Baijis, like Suvijaya Baiji, and there are about 1,000 other of them as well, all around the world. And also Mahatmajis, who used to give discourses and talks. And what they do, and they have the ability to transmit knowledge to you. They have the ability to, just as in the Bhagavad Gita or in the Bible also, that knowledge is passed from a master to a disciple. And they are disciples of a master. And through a saint, such as Suvijaya Baiji, who is in South Africa, and like I said, there's hundreds of them around the world, they are able to transmit the knowledge to you at a point of when you're ready and when you're seeking, such as yourself. What happens is once you learn this, you learn techniques of meditation, kriyas, techniques of meditation. And this has to be practiced daily. Once you learn this, it changes your lifestyle, it changes your understanding of the universe. It allows you to understand the universe around you, and that we are just a tiny being, being as smaller than a mustard seed within this universe. And the same consciousness that lies within me, the same feeling you felt, you can, through practice, you'll be able to feel that yourself through your own practice, without being around the company of and more people who are meditating. So there are techniques, there are kriyas that you can do. And then, as Baiji was saying, also the yoga, being more spiritually in touch with yourself, with nature, diet, all of these factors help you to delve deeper within yourself to be able to access that diamond within yourself. So there is a shining light within each and every one of us, and we all have the capacity to attain that, and knowledge is available to everybody who searches for it. And when you are seeking for it, it does come to you and you will learn it. So there are specific techniques that you have to practice, and it comes through daily practice that you would be able to learn this. And I'm glad that you were able to feel relaxed during the practice. And a simple task is just focusing on your breath. Whenever you feel that way, will help you take you deeper to the steps of meditation. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Mara. Yes, as you said, it's those small steps that get you to that longer play. And a questioning mindset is quite important in these sort of scenarios. So please do question. And if you do have more questions like this, please do send them across to us. We'll be providing you with the email address at the end. So we've now reached the end of our program today, and we wish to thank you for your questions. And our heartiest thank you to Dr. Varsha and Mahatma Devaji for their time shared here with us, and for their insightful presentations and answers. You can always reach out to them by sending us an email at thespiritualawarenessjourney@gmail.com with any other questions, as I said previously. And we wish to thank our speakers for also reminding us about the importance of our self-effort towards our own wellness and the need to acquire spiritual knowledge, so we can start our own practical spiritual awareness journey and connecting us to that inner divinity, the divine source for our optimal wellness, which has been the key for today. Again, I wish to thank each and every one of you for your presence here today on this Spiritual Talk platform. And our next episode program will be held this coming Saturday on April the 30th, which will be episode 29, and the topic will be the need of a living master. So on this topic, as humans, we are blessed with the consciousness to investigate, to learn, to understand our life, our environment, the creation of the energy and the consciousness itself. For that, we need teachers and masters with their own practical experiences to show us the path. As you do, if you want to learn a new language, you go to a language teacher. In the same way, we do the same in this scenario. So for that, we need teachers and masters. And the ways to achieve such masteries are taught through them. And similarly, we through spiritual knowledge can know ourselves and the source from where we came. And our experience panel will bring clarity about the essential need of a living master at next week's program. So it is a must attend. So please mark this in your diaries. And all of our spiritual awareness journey episodes, previous ones from season 1 and 2, are now available on the Manav Dharam YouTube channel, where you can enjoy the many other spiritual topics, discussing different spiritual aspects and practical applications of spirituality in your daily living. And you can also check out the previous Need of a Living Master on our Manav Dharam YouTube channel, which is in the first season. Again, feel free to drop us a note with your comments, whatever you're liking, what you don't like, and for our guests, any questions you may have at thespiritualawarenessjourney@gmail.com. The email address will be left in the chat box in the end. Thank you all again, especially our speakers today, Dr. Varsha and Mahatma Devaji, for their wonderful sharing on this topic. Thank you all again for joining us today, and this episode's video will be available with subtitles on the Manav Dharam YouTube channel very soon. So feel free to post it on your social media pages and share it around. Again, thank you to our sponsor, Manav Dharam YouTube channel, and I'm wishing you a pleasant weekend. I was your host, Kavinanda, and from all of us on the Spiritual Awareness Journey, wishing you a joyous day. Thank you.